Alright, today I'm going to be replacing the transmission fluid on this 2008 Nissan Armada. The transmission fluid I'll be using today is the Castro Transmax ATF. This fluid is compatible with the Nissan Matic D, Matic J, and Matic S type. The tools I'm using today is a 3/8 electric ratchet with a 6-inch extension with a 10mm deep socket, a vice grip, a flathead screwdriver, a blade to shave down the funnel end right here. I'm using the blade to shave down the end of the funnel because the end of the funnel wouldn't fit with the filler hose because the filler hole is too narrow. So I shaved the front end or the end of the funnel to narrow it down so it's smaller. You need a 3/8-inch hose with a 6mm socket, 1/4. What I did was just connect one end of the socket to the hose and one to the transmission line. Because the transmission line is too short, so I'm adding this additional hose so that I could go into the drain pan to drain out the fluid. Alright, so I have the car on ramps. I'm going to remove the splash shield on the bottom. It's held on by 4 bolts, 1 right here, 2, and then 2 in the top front right here. It's held on by 4 10mm bolts. Make sure to hold it in place before you remove the last bolt or else it's going to fall on you. So the transmission hose that you want to remove is this hose that's going into the radiator. This is the one that goes into the cooler to cool down the transmission fluid. And this is where the fluid's going to come out. This is where you're going to drain all the fluid from the transmission so that you can do a full flush. So remove the clamp. And then pry the hose out. Be careful of it dripping out. There's the transmission fluid. So I'm using a 1/4 6mm socket with a 3/8-inch fuel line hose. And then I'm going to plug one end of the hose, and then the other socket end, I'm going to plug it to that transmission line right there so that I could have it run down to this line all the way into the pan. So I pushed it in. Now turn on your engine, and then when the fluid starts spitting out, you stop the vehicle. Don't let it run dry. Alright, when the transmission fluid starts spitting out, you stop the vehicle, and then now I'm going to fill up the vehicle with 2 gallons of transmission fluid. So you want to remove your transmission dipstick to refill the transmission fluid. It's held on by a 10mm bolt. Pull the dipstick out. So get a funnel and then put it in here. For this funnel that I bought, it was too big right here, so I shaved it down with a blade. And as you can see, there's shaving right here on the plastic piece. And so now I'm going to squeeze it in here, and then I'm going to refill with the fluid. Press it in really tight. Be careful not to spill any of the fluid. So for the second gallon, I'm going to fill it only halfway. That way I don't overflow it, and when I drain it, I want to see red fluid. Once it's red, then I'm going to fill it up and then top it off. Turn on your engine, and then you stop when it starts spitting out again. Okay, good. Now I see the transmission fluid is red. I'm going to go ahead and top it off now and check and make sure the level is correct. Now put back your hose with the clamp on and put your splash shield on with the 4 bolt, and you go back up and top off the fluids. put the tube bolt here to hold this in place, and then I'm gonna put the tube bolt on top back. Now fill up your transmission fluid. So I put in 4 quarts, and then I'm gonna top it off as needed. Turn on your vehicle, step on the brake, shift through all the gears, and then check your fluid level. It's recommended to check your transmission fluid level while the engine is idling and the transmission fluid is hot. It's hard to see, but the fluid's at the low end mark. There's a low mark and a high mark. So you want to be in between, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of the fluid to keep it at the middle. So I just topped it off, and now it's at the high mark. Tighten the 10mm bolt back in, and you are all done.